I'm definitely ready to race. I'm feeling almost kind of pent up and kind of amped, just ready to go and ready to compete to start the season. And I'm excited to start this Saturday. Yeah, to start with it, in August, I was running with the cross country team. And so I was team captain there, and I was pretty focused on trying to get a good result in the cross country state competition as a team. So I started training a little bit earlier in the summer for cross country, about a month early, and sacrificed a little bit of riding time in order to be ready to get my best for my team in that season. We start runs for cross country at 6 in the morning, and then we'll go to school by 8:30, and after school I'll get out around 2:30, and then get on the bike and ride for a bit after that. On in terms of like the actual intensity, if it's a harder day running, I'll usually do maybe a little bit harder day cycling, and vice versa. The team atmosphere in cross country was probably the best thing about it. It was just a really fun group of guys that got to get together on a daily basis and work hard and go for runs in the morning before school. And that atmosphere is one of the things I'll probably miss the most about cross country. Basketball was the kind of the inverse of cross country season. So basketball, we had 2 hours of practice directly after school, with nothing in the morning. So during basketball season, I'd often be trying to ride early in the morning, go to school, go to basketball, and then try to knock out homework afterwards. In terms of intensity, it would usually be, it's a little bit harder to know how hard basketball practice is going to be as is for cross country. Cross country is a very regimented of easy day, hard day, main, or easy day, tempo day, and then our hard day. So you get into a rhythm that's pretty consistent week to week. Basketball's a little more varied, and with basketball games, you never want to risk being burnt out before a game. And so we were pretty cautious throughout basketball season on making sure I wasn't going to get burnt out. But on weekends when there wasn't a game, or if we had a longer gap between games, then I would usually be pushing it a little bit harder. I think big things I learned from basketball was just aggressiveness. That's something I really had to work on. Was just learning to be more aggressive and to learn to be able to read situations and react. Be able to learn to have a little more of an attacking mindset. That was something I've definitely struggled with in basketball and in cycling, where I can be too passive and I'll play too safe. And so learning to kind of be a little more risky will be useful on the bike, not necessarily handling wise, but in terms of just actual attacks and pushing the pace on the bike. I think I'll definitely be a little bit behind, but the nice thing about cross country and basketball was I was definitely not getting out of shape by any means. I was still very much very active. Basketball practices were as hard as ever. Cross country pushed me to my limits as well. And so there's certain muscles and stuff that I think will be beneficial to have just a little more quick twitch from basketball, for example. The hardest thing will be just the endurance, just building up to be able to do 60, 70-mile races. And that's something that doesn't really come quickly. You can't rush that process, so I have to build up that endurance base a bit more. But once I get there, I think I'll be ready to go and compete. It's a really fast bike, really stiff, and it's been a interesting transition from the old one. This one's a lot more aero, and it has the aero rims, which is probably the biggest difference in terms of from bike to bike is the wheels. And so learning how to corner and descend on a little bit deeper rims is quite a bit different, just in terms of how the wind catches your wheels and whatnot. So learning how to ride that, but it's a really fast bike, and once it gets onto the straight and narrow, it can move. Thanks for watching the video. You can help me get to your by clicking the subscribe button. And if you want to support me directly, the link is in the description. I'm Bear Lopez, always climbing.